In the 1960s, a method of propulsion was proposed where a spacecraft would literally drop a series of explosive charges out the back, and the force of the explosions would push the spacecraft forward. The prototype was called the Orion Drive, and there were actually a series of experiments done with conventional charges to show that it would work. The Orion Drive, however, was proposed to use nuclear charges. In order to simulate an Orion-style propulsion system, Paul and Jim here are rigging up a demonstration where they're going to put a small chemical charge inside this barrel, and we're going to lift this off the ground 50, 60 feet in the air. We're going to actually calculate the energy released in this explosion and compare it to a nuclear charge you might find on an actual Orion spacecraft system. Our Orion spacecraft simulator is rigged and ready to go. We're going to light off the charges inside, blow the can up into the air, and compare that with the energy released from a typical nuclear explosion that would be used on an Orion-style drive.
The Orion spacecraft, studied at Los Alamos in the late 1950s, proposed nuclear fission as its propulsion source. Fission energy is produced when the nucleus of an atom splits into smaller parts, producing free neutrons and protons that release tremendous gamma-ray energy.
The explosive charge in this 35-pound barrel lofted at about 60 feet in the air. A small nuclear charge in the Hiroshima range would liberate about 27 million times more energy. Clearly, that's a practical propulsion drive for interplanetary or even interstellar travel. Because of the huge explosions that an Orion drive would require, on the back of the spacecraft, you would have a huge, thick metal plate that would absorb the thrust of the explosion and a series of shock absorbers to keep the crew from getting jolted each time the charges went off.
The max speed of a nuclear-powered fission spacecraft? About 5% the speed of light. Travel time from Earth to Alpha Centauri? About 90 years. Despite its powerful fuel source, the fission craft is actually slower than a solar sail. Boosting speed would mean turning to another, more intense nuclear reaction.